Today we are joined by Mr. Suresh Krishnan, Managing Director and CEO of Paradeep Phosphates. Today we are going to explore how government policies, sustainable goals, innovation and farmer engagements are shaping the company's long-term vision and how it plans to lead India towards greater self-sufficiency in phosphatic fertilizers. Thank you for joining with PTI.
Thank you.
Nano-fertilizers are gaining traction for Paradeep Phosphates, especially the nano-urea and nano-DAP. And how important are nano-fertilizers in your growth story?
Ma'am, we believe that Indian fertilizer industry has a requirement of 40 million tons of urea and about 20 million tons of other phosphatic fertilizer. That talks about 60 million tons. If you look at globally, specialty products have always been about 10% of the overall market. India, we have not really established ourselves in that manner. And the other important thing is when it comes to nano, it's totally a new category. And this category in our view is very important for the farmers for one very fundamental thing, that is the nutrient use efficiency. The NUU that we get to see out of a nano application is quite significant. We believe that our nano expansion, which is currently targeted at about 1 crore bottles in a year, will substantially increase. And our aim would be that we have a very robust growth of 20-25% annually as far as nano is concerned. But the nano strategy will be entirely dependent upon the farmer acceptability. We are seeing nano being accepted very well in certain pockets for certain applications, and we believe that with knowledge, with results, nano will be a big hit as far as the Indian agriculture is concerned.
How has been the market response for your nano fertilizers, especially the nano urea and the nano DAP, in terms of sales and farmer adoption?
I can tell you for a fact that this last year was a beginning for us, and we did about 15 lakh bottles of nano fertilizer. This year we would be expected to do close to about 35 lakh bottles of nano fertilizer, and I believe in a year's time we should be growing more closer to the 1 crore bottle mark, which is the first target milestone that we have as far as nano is concerned. And nano, there are two products, ma'am. One is the urea, the other is DAP. We are actually promoting a lot more of DAP, given that we are a phosphatic fertilizer company, and we are seeing that the DAP application is going off very well, and the foliar application of nano in good parts of Maharashtra, Karnataka that we are getting to see. Also that we are promoting this in northern India, in eastern UP and nearby markets have been very encouraging. And so we are actually doing a lot of farmer work in terms of teaching them in terms of what needs to be done and how to apply and at what stage to apply. And so we believe the kind of work that we're doing with the farmers, nano is something which is here to stay.
What are the current production capacity of nano fertilizers and any plans to increase the production capacity in near future?
Ma'am, today we have a capacity to make close to about 4 lakh bottles a month, so which will take us to about 50 lakh bottles in a year, and we would certainly be taking that up to 1 crore bottle in about a year's time. And as far as nano is concerned, we plan to set up a facility somewhere in south of India where we don't have a facility today. Our entire nano is being manufactured in north of India, so we would get down to south of India pretty soon. I think in the next 3 years you can see that an additional 1 crore bottle manufacturing will certainly come up in Karnataka from our side.
How is Paradeep supporting farmers through your retail networks to promote balanced fertilization and improve soil health?
And we have a number of initiatives with the farmers. First and foremost, at Paradeep itself, if you look at it near Bhubaneswar, we have a farmer training institute. And we believe in that in a big way because we are able to get the farmers to come and learn there in terms of by using the agronomists that we have, the effective leaders that we have. So that's the first thing that we end up doing there. The second important thing that we get to see is that our associate company runs an independent farm where we do farming and where we help the farmers to really not to take their risk, but we take the risk for them in terms of newer practices and others which we finally take it to the field and for their own benefit. And the third important thing is innovation for products. And we continuously keep looking at soil health and to see what is the innovative product that can help them to really go forward. And these are initiatives which have been going on for a long time. And for us, our philosophy of farmer first has always stayed with us. And we believe that that's what is going to keep us going in future also.
Innovations like nano-fertilizers and crop-specific NPK has been important for you. How critical is innovation to meet the farmers' needs and maintaining competitiveness?
Ma'am, if you look at today, there are two types of farmers in India. There are farmers who are into cash crops and horticulture farmers who are now very well advanced, and in fact they track global trends, and you find them all over the country today. And if you have to be relevant to these farmers, innovation is very important. And innovation comes not only from the fact that you are able to give them specific nutrient, they want the nutrients to come in an integrated form, which is why the NPKs have a very important play which is there. I can give you an example, 19-19-19, which is the most balanced fertilizer, highest nutrient content if you look at it, with N, P and K being there. We are the only manufacturer of that in India. And this is being favored by coffee plantations in Karnataka to an onion farmer and in Maharashtra. So that's the kind of a diversity which you get to see. But these farmers have got used to this high grade balanced fertilizer, and so we need to keep working on it. For example, today from a 2020-013, which was a few million ton market, has already gone to 7 to 8 million ton market, which is not only replacing to some extent the DAP dependence of Indian farmer, it's also giving farmer a product with sulfur in it, because it's not only N and P, it's an NPS grade which is coming in there. So these are all things that Indian fertilizer industry has come out with, and this is doing well.
India aims for self-sufficiency in phosphatic fertilizers by increasing the domestic production. How is your company supporting this goal and reduce the import dependency?
Ma'am, Paradeep Phosphate is today at, as I said, about 2.6 million ton, going to 2.9 post our acquisition of Mangalore Chemicals. We are planning to at least put up 1.8 billion tons of additional capacity in the coming years, of which 600,000 is already something that we have taken a board approval, and the balance approval is in various stages today. And so, which will, if you look at a 6 million ton of import which is coming to India, we are in a position to manage over 1/3 of that in terms of an augmented production over the next 2 to 3 years.
How do you manage risk associated with regulatory changes and seasonal market volatility in the fertilizer sector?
Ma'am, if you look at it today, the main competitive advantage in fertilizer is in your ability to handle the number of raw materials that you need to source and process. And our ability to source and process both have been well established, and we believe that we are in a much more advantageous position than number of our competitors are concerned. First and foremost, you must realize that at Paradeep we have our own independent port berth. And this port berth is a major advantage for us, because we are able to source all our imported raw material very effectively there. Second is the kind of vast infrastructure that we created for storing, handling and then processing these raw materials. This is where we get our fundamental advantage in terms of a manufacturer today. And the second important thing is our constant innovation in getting better grades of NPKs. And that's the second very important thing that has led us to really work well with farmers, whether you talk about the UP belt to a farmer in Karnataka or Maharashtra. So we've got product specific for all these markets. So I think that is where we see a growth for us, that we understand these farmers, our extension program leads us to plan ahead and able to give new products to them.
Paradeep plants meets more than 90% of its phosphoric acid needs internally. What are your plans to further reduce the imports and increase the domestic production?
Ma'am, our current capacity is 500,000 metric tons per annum. To get ourselves into 100%, we are already expanding our current phosphoric acid capacity from 500,000 to 700,000 tons, which will happen in the year 2026. With that, we will not have to import any phosphoric acid at all as far as PPL at Paradeep is concerned. Whereas when you come to the west coast of India, at Goa, we require close to about 150,000 tons of P2O5 annually, which comes to us from Morocco based on a long-term arrangement.
You're expanding the production capacity of sulfuric acid and phosphoric acid. Can you share the updates of these projects, and how will it affect your products and market?
Well, ma'am, as far as sulfuric acid is concerned, we currently have a capacity of 1.3 million tons. We are taking it to 1.9 million tons, which is a substantial expansion which we are doing. We should be available in terms of an end product by the third quarter of this year itself. And this is going to be a big support because we will not have to depend on global markets for sulfuric acid. As you know, largely sulfuric acid is imported, so that import dependence will come down. Our value addition will go up, and which is a big positive. With additional sulfuric acid being available to us, we are in a position to manufacture more phosphoric acid because the phosphoric acid manufacturer needs that, and also we are able to use the sulfuric acid for certain products which comes with sulfur in them. For example, one of the key products that Indian farmer takes today is 20-20-013, where there is 13% sulfur. For manufacturing this product, you also need sulfuric acid. So all this is finally going to help us in our overall business portfolio.
How do you see the future of India's phosphatic fertilizer industry in terms of domestic production versus imports?
I personally believe that India's dependence of 6 million tons of import today needs to get reduced, and India needs to build capacity of 4 to 5 million tons in the near future, and this is something that is being discussed very seriously. And I can very well see that besides us, even some of our competition will also be setting up capacities in India, and you will get to see in the next 2 to 3 years India's import dependence will come down. However, you must also realize that the NPK space that we are in is also a growing market for us, and in some of the grades the growth has been well over 9 to 10%. And given that kind of a growth which is going to be there, this industry has a huge potential going forward, and I think we will be growing at a good pace over the next one full decade. And given the fact that we have to feed the kind of people that we need to, numbers that we need to feed, and it's important to see that nutrients are very clearly available. And when it comes to nutrient, phosphatic, potash, these are nutrients which have long-term impact in terms of productivity at the farm, and I believe that we will be in a position to supply that, and there will be a continuous growth for this industry over the coming years.
Paradeep Phosphate is ranked among top 2 globally in ESG and sustainability. How do you balance growth with environmental and social responsibility?
Well, as far as the ESG responsibility is concerned, I believe that ESG pays for itself. ESG is something which should be part of the business, and I believe that anything that you do to environment is something which is going to be positive as far as the operations are concerned. When it comes back to our farmers, you must realize that a farmer itself is a very key factor to the overall ESG journey that we have. In the first place, our both Jai Kisan and Navratna brands that we have today is well recognized by the farmer, that is coming from a unit which is well managed, which believes in circular economy, and which contributes to ensure that the overall requirement of resources is reduced. I should give you a statistics out here. The water requirement of all our plants, if you look at it today, we literally have a zero effluent discharge. So every discharge which is there is getting reused in our own manufacturing facility. The gypsum that we have as a byproduct today is not only being used in the cement industry, we are also using it for other purposes, including in road building. So we have these very clear concept of making sure that our byproducts are well utilized, and this is something which all our consumers recognize. And an ESG practice, I will once again state, is a very important dynamics which is important for the company.
Thank you for sharing your vision and strategies for the future. Your focus on innovation, sustainability and farmer support shows your great promise for the industry. We wish you success in achieving these goals.